Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. We're going to do another segment on Grayscale and Cardano, and they could be buying hundreds of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of Cardano for their trust. Now, I did make this mistake on my last video, um, taking 4% of Grayscale's total crypto holdings as Cardano holdings. The 4.3% for Grayscale's Cardano holdings only applies to the large cap fund of Grayscale. So 4% of $353 million. So that's roughly about $12, $13 million in Cardano they have. But here's the thing. A lot of these coins that are in their large cap fund eventually have their own fund as well. Like Bitcoin has its own fund, which is actually much, much bigger than the amount in their large cap fund. Same thing with Ethereum, and Cardano is number 3. So I think they are very likely to buy Cardano for its own fund, and that could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars more. Obviously, that is very bullish for Cardano because that locks even more supply up, and you have an institutional investor potentially investing hundreds of millions of dollars up to maybe even $1 billion in Cardano. Because if you look at the proportion of the coins in their large cap fund for Bitcoin and Ethereum, it does parallel how much they actually have in their individual funds. You have about almost 3 times as much Bitcoin as Ethereum in the large cap fund because Bitcoin makes 67.9% of their Bitcoin and only 24.9% of their Ethereum. And if you actually look at how much Ethereum they actually have, the Grayscale Ethereum Trust has about 8.2 billion in assets under management. If you missed my other video, the Grayscale Bitcoin Fund has around $22 billion, $23 billion under management, so almost 3 times there. So like the individual Bitcoin and Ethereum funds are at a ratio of about 1 to 3, and this is also at a ratio of about 1 to 3, slightly less in their Grayscale large cap fund. Now, if Cardano follows the same pattern, so, Ethereum's at like 8 billion, if Cardano's at 4% compared to their 24%, that is 1/6, and 1/6 of 8 billion is a little bit over $1 billion. So according to that ratio logic, they would buy 1 billion Cardano or hundreds of millions of Cardano. Now, when could they possibly buy this? I'm not sure, but I think a decent bet would be actually later this year when the smart contracts actually come out. Grayscale obviously wants to be more careful. They want to make sure that it's the real thing. When their smart contracts actually come out and people actually start adopting Cardano for projects, it'll act like Ethereum except be much faster and much more efficient. And Grayscale might see that as a precursor to buying a lot of Cardano. Remember, Grayscale is trying to make money. Grayscale is trying to make their clients money. And if they see a high potential coin like Cardano, I'm wondering why they haven't really added Polkadot yet. So that's another possibility. So if they're actually going to add Cardano because they see it maybe taking some of Ethereum's market share, they might add in that proportion. Since their Bitcoin to Ethereum in their individual funds are 3 to 1, I guess if you look at Cardano's percentage, unless they increase the percentage of Cardano, which is obviously possible because they do actually adjust the percentages of each holding. So 1/6, if they do like 1/6 of their actual Ethereum fund, it'd be like over $1 billion in Cardano, maybe like roughly less than 1 billion Cardanos. Now they might not be able to buy that much because Cardano might actually be higher in price by then, and we hope it is, but they can still buy hundreds of millions of Cardanos. And if you go by the ratio in their large cap fund for being the same as their individual trust, that's actually what's going to happen. Obviously, this is all speculation. I have no idea what Grayscale actually plans to buy at that time or when they're actually planning to buy. But I do think with Cardano's potential, with smart contracts launching, with it being one of the predominant mainnets in the future, I do think Grayscale will see it fit to actually have an individual Cardano fund, just like they have an individual Bitcoin or Ethereum fund. So that is the news for today. Let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.